Hey there, everybody. It's Rhianna Gresty here with Exit Real Estate Executives and Team Gresty. So, we're going to answer a few questions today, and it's going to be who pays what, buyer or seller? And we're going to talk about appraisals, closing costs, and inspections. So, I'm going to touch on appraisals. So, typically in a transaction, a buyer is getting financing to purchase the property. And during that process, the bank is going to require an appraisal to be done. So, this gets paid by the buyer so that the loan that they're acquiring, the bank knows that the value is there, that it's going to appraise and for what they're purchasing it for. Another instance, if a buyer is buying with cash, they don't necessarily have to get appraisal done, but they certainly can do that just to know the value of the home that they're purchasing. And on the other side, sellers can do the same. They can order an appraisal if they're thinking about putting their house in the market and they want to make sure that they're listing at the market value price according to the appraisal. So again, not necessary for the sale, but is definitely an option. So typically you're going to see that a buyer is going to be financing a property, so they are going to be paying for the appraisal. So short answer, typically it is the buyer. So now we move on to closing costs and inspections.
Hey everyone, Ron Gresty with Team Gresty at Exit Real Estate Executives in Belchertown. Here today to answer the question, who pays closing costs? It's a question a lot of buyers and sellers ask on a regular basis, and truthfully the answer is both. Both the buyer and seller assume closing costs in a transaction. The seller will have closing costs associated with selling, and the buyer of course will have fees and costs associated with the purchase. Now the buyer has a couple options here. One, they could pay closing costs out of pocket, or two, they could ask the seller to pay some or all of the closing costs and the purchase price with their offer. Now, in that case, the lender will allow a specific percentage of the purchase price to go towards closing costs. It's typically 6%, but not always. So I hope I've answered this question in a nutshell. Please visit our website, www.teamgresty.com, if you have any more questions about closing costs or simply about buying and selling real estate. We'd love to talk to you, and thank you for watching. Alrighty, take care and be safe.
Hi everyone, I'm Mike Mayers with Exit Real Estate Executives Team Gresty. I'm here today to talk to you about inspections and who's responsible for paying which inspection when it comes to a typical real estate transaction. So the first one is a home inspection. And what that is, it's an inspection that's done by a licensed home inspector here in Massachusetts. They're going to come in and they're going to do a roof to basement inspection of your home. They're going to check all of your systems, your heating, your electric, your cooling, plumbing, all of that. And they're going to check all your structural components and the overall condition of the home. And they're going to provide you with an in-depth report for that. That may help you along with your decision-making process. Those typically run here anywhere from $400 to $500, and those are paid for by the buyer. As part of that inspection, you may be required to have a termite or a pest inspection. Those are usually required from different lenders, different programs, have different requirements, and those are usually paid for by the buyer. However, some lenders stipulate that has to be paid for by the seller. Next inspection would be a Title V inspection. A Title V inspection is an inspection of your septic system. And that's done by, again, a licensed inspector. And they're going to come out and they're going to take a look at your septic system and they're going to provide you with an in-depth report on that. Those are typically paid for by the seller. If your home has a septic system, if it's not town water, town sewer, if it has a septic system, you're going to be required to have a Title V inspection prior to closing. Those are typically paid for by the seller. There are instances with some bank-owned properties and other deals that, there's a stipulation in there that falls on the buyer, but you're going to know about that prior to entering into that transaction. The last inspection is a smoke and CO inspection. Those are performed by the fire department, and those are typically paid for by the seller prior to closing as well. However, with everything that's going on with COVID-19, there's now an exception that's been made where it falls on the buyer's responsibility to get that certification, and you have up to 90 days after closing to take care of that. So a little bit of information on inspections and how much they cost and who is responsible. I hope you find this information useful, and I hope you guys have a great day.